Habit. Habit is what we do without thinking about it. We have good habit and we have bad habit. Good habit is what you do automatically that add to your self-development, wealth development, and health development. Bad habit is what you do that subtract from your wealth, from your health, and replace it with sorrow, frustration, depression, and regret, but you still don't stop doing it. Let me ask you one question. What creates an hero and what creates a criminal? What creates a contributor and what creates a problem creator? What is that one thing that really determines the difference in human action? But one thing is clear to me. Human beings are not random creatures. Everything we do them for a reason. We may not be aware of the reason consciously, but there is undoubtedly a single driving force behind every human behavior. Everything you and I do, we do them either out of our need to avoid pain or our desire to gain pleasure. According to Anthony Robbins, he said that the secret of success is learning how to use pain and pleasure instead of having pain and pleasure. If you do that, you control your life. If you don't, life control you. For you to be among the world-class people, or for you to be among the great men and women of the world, you must eliminate every bad habit from your life. Our bad habits will never give us the 100% opportunity to grab the real opportunity or to concentrate on the most important task of our life. Our bad habits, like smoking, drinking of alcohol, masturbating, everyday social media, too much TV, these are destructive mechanisms, and our distraction is costing us fortune of productivity, impact, and influence. Let me explain to you the science behind concentrating on the most important task of your life. When you concentrate on that one task, when you concentrate on that one project, when you concentrate on that one thing that is important to you in your life, a neural pathway gets set up around the project. And the more you focus on that one task, the more stronger it becomes. The more you focus on that one task, on that one project, on that one thing that is very important to you in your life, the more the neural pathway gets isolated. When the neural pathway gets isolated through deep practice and focus every single day in an undistracted environment, oligodendrocyte will be activated and it will release a fatty tissue called myelin. According to researchers, psychologists, and scientists, they called myelin to be the secret of all genius. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at his heading, his shot, his dribbling power, and his speed on the pitch. They are uncomparable and unbelievable. Look at Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. Their speaking skills are extraordinary. These people are not naturally talented, but they move away from distraction to develop uninterrupted concentration over an extended period of time. And their brain come in to create a pharmacy of mastery that is available in each and every one of us. Did you know that Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Mark Zuckerberg, Dangote, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all these people are gifted. But you also have the gift, because the gift of genius is in the brain that can adapt through practice and focus. And this brain is called neuroplasticity. When you focus on that one task, when you focus on that one project, when you focus on that one thing that is important to you in your life, neocortex, which is the seat of reasoning, start to shut down. We don't do our best work from the intellect because the intellect is polluted with distraction. But we do our best work from that deep place, from that quiet place, undistracted environment. So your neocortex start to shut down. Your brainwave shift from beta to alpha every time you are on social media, every time you are watching TV, every time you are smoking or you are gambling or you are doing anything that involves distraction. Your brainwave is in beta. When you move away from distraction and you go to that deep place, to that quiet place, undistracted environment, your brainwave is shifted to alpha. Alpha is the gateway of our subconscious mind that is ready to absorb information, idea, or fact that you want to put in. So, once your brain is shifted from beta to alpha, a pharmacy of mastery is created. Cortisol, which is the fear hormone, starts to shut down. Dopamine, the inspirational neurotransmitter that is responsible for movement and attention in the brain, is released. Serotonin, which is responsible for our well-being and happiness in life, is released, and a pharmacy of mastery is created. As you can see, for you to be among the world-class people, or for you to be among the great men and women of the world, you must isolate yourself. You must move away from distraction in order to develop uninterrupted concentration over an extended period of time. Our bad habit is our greatest distraction. So, how do we stop it? I often hear people talking about changing their bad habit, but they end up changing nothing. Why? Because these people, they focus on the problem instead of them to focus on the root of the problem. For you to eliminate any problem in your life, you must eliminate it right from the root. In the brain, we have something we call mirror neuron and system of the brain, and it dates back to thousands of years ago when we are living in an uncivilized world. This system allows our forefathers to master the behavior in the tribe. If someone figure out a tool or a better way to survive, subconsciously this system master those behavior. So in the modern time, we subconsciously master the behavior of the people we spend most of our time with. Our subconscious mind is very powerful. 95% of our life is controlled by the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is formulated by the combination of environmental habits from our parents, our teachers, our brothers, our sisters, and our friends. Our subconscious mind master the behavior in the environment, either good or bad, without our conscience or our permission. So, for a gambler to be a gambler, or for a smoker to be a smoker, or for anybody to be addicted to any kind of distraction, is as a result of where he mastered it from. We are all born with only two habits: the habit of being afraid of falling and the habit of being afraid of noise. And that is the reason why you will see a baby crying when there is noise. Every other habit, we learn them, and if we can learn them, we can unlearn them as well by simply eliminating the root of the problem, which is the environment where we learn them from, and by departing ourselves from the people with this bad habit in the environment. Failure to understand this idea put you in trouble of reacting like an animal. This may sound like oversimplification, but listen to me. Why don't you do some of the things you know you should do? Wait a minute. What is even the meaning of procrastination? Procrastination is when you know you should do something important, but you still don't do it. Why don't you do it? The answer is simple. At some level, you believe that taking action at that moment will be more painful than just dropping it off not to do it. Have you ever had the experience of not doing something important to you for so long, and suddenly you felt the pressure to just do it? What did you think happened? This is what happened. Not taking action became more painful than just dropping it off not to do it. Remember, and don't forget, that a man who suffer before is necessary suffer more than is necessary. Let me ask you another question. Why is it that people can experience pain and yet fail to change? The answer is obvious. It is because they have not experienced enough pain. They have not hit something I called emotional threshold. Why is it that armed robbers refuse to say the truth after several beatings? And why do you think the policemen continue to torture the armed robbers? The answer is obvious as well. It is because the policemen believe that if the armed robbers experience enough pain, they will say the truth. Experiencing enough pain before you change your habit may be too late for you. So, I have developed two fundamental ways you can use to destroy any bad habit in your life. Number one, postpone your habit and do something else. Number two, apply DRR method. Disadvantage, read, and replace. Number one, postpone your habit and do something else. Whenever you think of doing that bad habit, postpone to do it at that moment and do something else. When you do that, the law of diminishing intent will be manifested. Our habit is driven by three forces. Number one, the stimulus that start the habit. We call it trigger. Number two, the doing of the habit. We call it routine. Number three, the benefit associated with the habit. We call it reward. When you postpone your habit, the stimulus that start the habit will begin to shut down. When you do something else, you will begin to lose final interest or complete interest in doing that bad habit. According to psychologists, they told us that it takes 22 days to destroy any bad habit in your life. So you need to commit yourself or discipline yourself to apply this method every time you think of doing that bad habit. Because it is not what we do once in a while that change our life, but it is what we do consistently that determine the quality of our life. Number two, apply DRR method. Disadvantage, read, and replace. Whenever you think of doing that bad habit, apply this method. DRR, disadvantage, read, and replace. If you are really serious about changing your habit, find out the disadvantage or the consequence of doing that bad habit. The idea behind searching for the disadvantage is to get enough reason you must stop the bad habit so that it can supersede or overpower the reason you have to continue with this bad habit. Why do you think smokers continue to smoke despite the fact that they know that they are liable to die young? It is because the disadvantage or the consequence they know about the smoking doesn't supersede or overpower the joy and the happiness they will feel while smoking. And secondly, when you find that disadvantage, write it down in a sheet of paper and read it every single day. The idea behind reading it every single day is to remind you of the pain you will feel if you persist doing that bad habit. And finally, replace the bad habit with good habit. Every time you think of smoking, every time you think of doing any bad habit like smoking, you can replace smoking with chewing up gum or doing exercise. Anytime you think of gambling, you can replace it with saving of money. Every time you think of going to party with your friend or logging into your social media account or watching TV, you can replace it with going to library, watching of motivational videos or listening of motivational tapes. These are the ways you can replace those bad habits. So these are the two fundamental ways I've developed over time to destroy any bad habit in your life. Remember and don't forget that it takes commitment and discipline, because to rise above the majority, you must develop special qualities and discipline that the average people don't have. Let me explain to you how our habit is installed. Every habit goes through 3 stages. Number 1, destruction. Number 2, confusion. Number 3, integration. Number 1, destruction. In the beginning, it will be hard, it will be difficult, because you are destroying the neural pathway of the old habit. So this will happen after 22 days. Number 2, confusion. This is the neutral stage. At this stage, you will be confused because the old habit has been destroyed and the new habit has not yet been installed. So you will be confused, maybe to go back to the old habit or to move towards the new habit. So you will be confused and you will feel like giving up, and you will stay at this level for good 22 days. Number 3, integration. This is when the habit is finally installed. It has reached something we call automaticity. It is part and parcel of you. It is automatic. And this happened after 22 days as well. Let me conclude this chapter with the quote of one of my teachers, Mr. Dan Lok. He said that if you want to pursue your dream in life, you must let go of irritating and noisy habits. Great men and women of the world, they don't have bad habits, but they have great habits. Remember, and don't forget, that if you want to do something, you will find a way. And if you don't want to do it, you will find an excuse. And all excuses are genuine, but they are all fertilizers to failure. God bless you.